All right, space nerds, it's time for some coding to happen. Last time we left off, I was getting lost with some things. I figured out some stuff. But what I'm going to try to do today is I'm going to try to add a new command to the real-time strategy units. So I think right now I've implemented a couple. I've implemented the one to occupy a base.
Starship has joined. Leaving high security area.
Waypoint.
Real-time strategy mode is now enabled.
So I've implemented this one, and I've implemented this attack main base, and I've implemented this one. So I think I'm going to try so I was thinking I need to have one to have them guard the base. So maybe I will rename patrol, or maybe I'll make patrol do that and think more about what it means for patrol. So let's look at that. Okay, so this AI brain is the is the function that the ships call to figure out how to move and what to do. And so I would need to add something here. I think that's what it's called, right? Yes. And I'll make it just like this one. Is that what I called it? Yeah. Okay, so what does this need to do? It needs to know which base is being defended, I suppose, which would be whichever one is the one closest to them when the command is assigned, I guess. So probably what we want to do is we want to add a structure to this union that is the sort of state of this. Oh, it already has it. It already has this. Okay, that's the one I want. Oh, that's okay. That's a different patrol. So I think I do want to rename this because patrol already has a meaning in the non-RTS. Maybe I will call it something else. What will I call it? hard base, I think. Which means I gotta make some other commands. Forgot to make a patch. And so the problem here is I already have a patrol, so now I have 2 patrols because I forgot about that. RTS. I think it's in here. Yes, okay. Okay. Let's see what else. So we probably want, so here's the point at which we want to set that actual data. I didn't make that, okay. So I think we just want, for now, the ID of the base. Do we want anything else? Let's see. He may have, so what is this? That'll be a start. So, I think we want something basically like this. Basically setting it to unknown, meaning that when we get into here, we have to figure it out. So at this point we have to go and figure out which AI entry is the topmost one, which in this case should be 0, but we'll go ahead and write it this way anyway. We got in here, that's actually a bug if that happens, but we might as well check it. 0 dot. We'll just put the guy into standby mode if that happens. And then so if the base that we're guarding is not known because we were just assigned the command, then we have to figure out which base. And the way we do that, is we loop through all of the objects in the game, looking for the bases. Reverse this and make it easier. It's not alive, continue. It's not a star base. And let's go with this for start. We'll worry about the planets later. No, we can actually. Actually, we have to do them separately. Unfortunately. So if it's a star base, if it's of the wrong faction, then it's not the one. So we found the star base, and we're going to need to find the closest one. So to do that, float, double, distance squared, call that? So I'm basically calculating how far our ship is from this base, from each base, the square of the distance, because I don't want to do the square root. So we say if we haven't looked at any of them, or this one is closest than the closest one we've seen so far, then we remember how far it is and remember which one it is. And we need to do the same thing for the planet, but only if the planet is actually our main base. How do we find my is that in the I think I want to do this. No, not quite. We need one additional check here. Is that what I called it? Yes. Let's see. So we have to make sure the planet is actually our home planet by going through the list of all the home planets, of which there are 2, and see if the ID is correct. The one for the base that we're looking at. Okay, so if this happens, it means we did not find our home planet at all, which I guess means we just look for it again. This shouldn't happen. found it, and we can say okay. So with that if statement, we now know what we should now know what and if we don't find it, actually we should return here. Let's see if that compiles. 4758. I guess I should put RTS in there. See if that compiles. Let's see, 4764. Oh, it has the index. Interesting. Well, that's odd. Oh, here's a problem right here. J is perfectly possibly 0. And so if I assign this to J, I need to actually assign it to, yeah. Okay, so now at this point, assuming all that's correct, there's a function that gets called for guarding the base, and he should figure out which base he needs to guard, but he doesn't actually do anything yet. Oh, I know another thing I need to do to debug this. I want to be able to see the difference between the ships in the daemon screen differentiated by faction. So I need to have some colors or something different about them. Okay. Be on the client. Trouble is, I'm not sure it always knows the faction, so this could be a problem. Yeah, we'll put it in and so they actually already are differentiated on the 2D screen. I think it's just the 3D screen. So here's where they're colored. Let's say it's really only going to be two. Cyan, sure, it's another color. The whole grid is green, so I don't want to make them green. Blue is too dark. Let's go with that maybe, and let's see what else could we use. What other color? Yellow? Did I use yellow for anything? Let's go with just those. Well, I feel like I need one more. Even though there's only two right now, I may have more later. Why can't I think of color? Orange. How about amber? Okay. I don't already have something like this, do I? reverse the order of these. Push that one on first, and then that one. Okay, and now make sure it compiles. And then we'll run it just to see if the different colors worked. Oh. I want to push on my... I want to boost it so that the RTS stuff goes faster, otherwise it'll take forever.
Starship has joined. Leaving high security area. Real-time strategy mode is now enabled.
Okay, so let's start building some stuff. Let's start assigning. Now let's go over here, and we see on the 2D screen we see all these yellow ships, and on over here we see all these red ships. But the real question is the 3D screen. Okay, yes, we do see all these orange red ships, and over here we see a bunch of yellow ones. So that worked. Whoops.
Starbase 0 Zone 1 has been secured. Starbase 0 Zone 2 has been secured.
I don't see the... Oh, the enemy's taking over Starbase 5. Okay. Normally you would not be able to build these ships this fast. I just made it work faster for debugging. So I have a giant fleet of yellow
Starbase 0 Zone 3 has been secured.
Giant fleet of yellow ships, and the enemy has a
We have captured Starbase 0.
Fleet of red ships. So we've captured a starbase? Yes. And so has the enemy. probably building them faster than I am. Normally you wouldn't be able to build these ships so fast, and so you would be using your home planet and the starbase that you've captured in parallel to do the building, but since you can build them, I can't click that fast. Well, it looks like the enemy has captured Starbase 2. And what have I captured?
Starbase 7 Zone 1 has been secured.
So we're headed for Starbase 7.
Starbase 7 Zone 2 has been secured. Starbase 6 Zone 1 has been secured. Starbase 7 Zone 3 has been secured. Starbase 6 Zone 2 has been secured.
Half a mind to just attack his main base.
We have captured Starbase 7. Starbase 6 Zone 3 has been secured.
Now, one problem I have noticed about my design for this game is that topologically the starbases have a particular order that you go through them. You basically go to the closest one, and that is a function of this command: occupy nearest base.
Starbase 6 Zone 1 has fallen to the enemy.
You go to the nearest one.
Starbase 6 Zone 2 has fallen to the enemy.
But I also have this waypoint thing, so if I go to science, I can go over here to waypoints, and I can set a waypoint at my current position, or I can type in a waypoint. I could, for example, find the location of the starbase and type it in.
Starbase 6 Zone 3 has fallen to the enemy.
Now this is highlighted, and I can assign this move to waypoint, and it will go to that waypoint. So
Starbase 0 Zone 1 has fallen to the enemy. Starbase 7 Zone 1 has fallen to the enemy.
And because my ships can warp, it takes them approximately the same amount of time to go to a starbase that is close or one that is far away.
Starbase 6 Zone 1 has been secured.
Which is at odds with the kind of game I want to make. I want to make it so you have to branch out to these starbases and get as many as you can, like the enemy here is doing, and build and build and build.
Starbase 7 Zone 2 has fallen to the enemy. Starbase 0 Zone 2 has fallen to the enemy.
The troop ships
Starbase 0 Zone 3 has fallen to the enemy. Starbase 7 Zone 3 has fallen to the enemy. Starbase 0 has been captured by the enemy. Starbase 7 has been captured by the enemy. Real-time strategy mode has been disabled.
So there's another issue right there. The computer lady who's narrating all of these things, she sometimes gets a little bit behind, and they all queue up. Well, I don't know what there is to do about that. Okay, so that the one thing that we actually did, which was to make the colors different, that part of it worked. So now I need to make these guys that are guarding the base actually do something, and there's a few different ways I could do it, I suppose. The sort of easiest, cheatingest way to do it would be to inspect the brain of the opponent ships and find any that were trying to occupy the base they were guarding, or trying to attack the main base if they were guarding the main base. And if it finds such ships, go attack the closest one. If maybe put some minimum distance, like don't go halfway across the galaxy to attack some guy who's on his way. Maybe put some kind of maximum distance so that they have to be a certain proximity before it triggers this behavior. So we now know the base ID. If we get to here, so once we know the base ID, we can so we should have like a home position. Like if there is no enemy, then we should just sort of roam around in proximity to our base that we're guarding. If we do find an enemy, I'll that is what we want to do. So to do that, we have to go through all the guys again. I wonder if I could do this with the collision detection processing. Probably. But I won't worry about that for now. And we want to say we want to say if if it's not alive, we skip it. If ship 2 is the NPC ships, non-player ships, computer-controlled ships. Ship 1 is human-controlled ships. So if it's not a computer-controlled ship, we're going to skip it. Because we can't inspect the brain of a player-controlled ship. But we shouldn't just ignore them either, so but maybe we have to react somehow. Or maybe, oh, actually the human-controlled ships in the RTS game are helpless against, they can't hurt the bases, they can't invade the bases, so it's actually fine. But then again, if the human-controlled ship is coming in and destroying all your buddies, you might want to put up a fight. But for now, I'm going to ignore this. Okay. Now we want to if s type, no, s data.faction. So if it's the same faction, then they shouldn't be attacking us, so we don't need to guard, we don't have to think about them. So otherwise, if we get past all these, that means we should consider him. Now we have to think, is he close enough? Or actually, we should check to see what his intentions are, because that's quicker to check. And if it is, so actually we should just check 0. That shouldn't happen. Unless there's something that needs to be locked that isn't, and we're inspecting the brain of the enemy ship while the enemy ship's brain is operating. Shouldn't be the case. Okay, so now we want to look at what was the other one? The other one was attack main base. I think I spelled it that way for some reason. In this case, for the moment, we don't care about anything else. So if the enemy is attacking the main base, I guess we can check in case I go to end up doing multiplayer or more than 2 players. I could check. The ID equals this, but now do I know my own base ID? Oh man, I gotta look it up again. You know what I should do? I should put that. Oh, I changed it, didn't I? Like a Fortran programmer, K is an integer, right? Do I? Yes, okay. it's called. We found a ship that is tagging the base that we're guarding. Is it the closest one? Zero is a perfectly cromulent index, so I can't. So if we get to the end of this loop, okay. Actually, I don't even need this else because it just returns. So I can just. So we found the closest enemy who was attacking the base that we are guarding at this point. So we want to check if how far is he? If he's across the board, for example, that we're still not going to do anything. But how far is that? X known dim over. Let's say he has to get within. Each one of those squares is this over 10. If he gets within half a square, for the star bases, that's probably fine. For the planet, it probably is not fine, because if he's on the wrong side of the planet and he suddenly decides he needs to get to where he needs to be to do the defending, he's going to have to drive all the way around the planet, which is going to take too long. But I'm not going to worry about that yet. Okay, so at this point, we found the closest enemy, and he's close enough that we actually want to do something about it. So at this point, I think I want to do this. Do I have found? I have found. So I want to do the recursion level should be 0, because he's not. Okay. Well, we're about 1 hour into this thing, and I think it's just done. I mean, well, except for this minor detail of getting it to compile and debugging it. I see a problem. I'm not sure. Well, that's for attacking the main base. Okay, so I implemented the case of attacking the main. I did not implement this one. So oh no, I had that right. should probably prioritize these occupiers for attacking over the ones that are merely attacking the base. Oh wait, actually they should never overlap because you never try to occupy the main base, the main planet. Now, gosh. Now it's implemented. Who knows if it's bug free? Probably not. But we'll give it a try and see how it does. It's probably going to take a while to get far enough along that we'll probably find some other oddities along the way.
Starship has joined. Leaving high security area. Real-time strategy mode is now enabled.
So how about I make a bunch of troop ships?
Insufficient funds. Insufficient funds.
Probably should not bother with that, but so I set some of the ships to guard.
Starbase 0 Zone 1 has been secured.
Guard my main base. Not that anybody's attacking it yet. What? So give all those ships orders to occupy a base.
Starbase 0 Zone 2 has been secured.
I'm surprised the enemy has not taken some star bases.
Starbase 0 Zone 3 has been secured.
He just did.
We have captured Starbase 0. Starbase 6 Zone 1 has been secured. Starbase 6 Zone 2 has been secured. Starbase 6 Zone 3 has been secured.
I'm going to make a bunch of troop ships for Starbase 0 and set them all to guard.
Starbase 5 Zone 1 has been secured. We have captured Starbase 6. Starbase 5 Zone 2 has been secured.
Guard base. And now Starbase 6. Let's build some
Starbase
ships.
5 Zone 1 has fallen to the enemy. Starbase 5 Zone 1 has been secured. Starbase 5 Zone 1 has fallen to the enemy. Starbase 5 Zone 1 has been secured. Starbase 8 Zone 1 has been secured. Starbase 5 Zone 1 has fallen to the enemy. Starbase 5 Zone 2 has fallen to the enemy. Starbase 7 Zone 1 has been secured. Starbase 5 Zone 1 has been secured. Starbase 8 Zone 2 has been secured. Starbase 5 Zone 2 has been secured.
So what should be interesting is
Starbase 8 Zone 3 has been secured. Starbase 5 Zone 3 has been secured. We have captured Starbase 8.
That I've put some guards by. There should be some battling.
Starbase 7 Zone 1 has fallen to the enemy. Starbase 7 Zone 1 has been secured. Starbase 7 Zone 1 has fallen to the enemy. Starbase 7 Zone 1 has been secured. Starbase 0 Zone 1 has fallen to the enemy. Starbase 7 Zone 1 has fallen to the enemy. Starbase 4 Zone 1 has been secured. We have captured Starbase 5.
Okay, there may be some.
Starbase 5 Zone 1 has fallen to the enemy. Starbase 5 Zone 2 has fallen to the enemy. Starbase 5 Zone 3 has fallen to the enemy. Starbase 5 has been captured by the enemy. Starbase 4 Zone 2 has been secured.
Okay,
Starbase 7 Zone 1 has been secured. Starbase 0 Zone 2 has fallen to the enemy. Starbase 4 Zone 3 has been secured. Starbase 1 Zone 1 has been secured. We have captured Starbase 4. Starbase 0 Zone 3 has fallen to the enemy. Starbase 4 Zone 1 has fallen to the enemy. Starbase 4 Zone 2 has fallen to the enemy. Starbase 0 has been captured by the enemy. Starbase 6 Zone 1 has fallen to the enemy. Starbase 2 Zone 1 has been secured. Starbase 6 Zone 2 has fallen to the enemy. Starbase 2 Zone 2 has been secured. Starbase 6 Zone 3 has fallen to the enemy. Starbase 4 Zone 3 has fallen to the enemy. Starbase 4 has been captured by the enemy. Starbase 4 Zone 1 has been secured. Starbase 7 Zone 2 has been secured. Starbase 6 has been captured by the enemy. Starbase 2 Zone 3 has been secured. Starbase 4 Zone 2 has been secured. Starbase 4 Zone 3 has been secured. We have captured Starbase 4. Starbase 4 Zone 1 has fallen to the enemy. Starbase 4 Zone 2 has fallen to the enemy.
Text-to-speech is
Starbase 4 Zone 3 has fallen to the enemy.
That's interesting.
Starbase 4 has been captured by the enemy.
That's too bad.
Starbase 0 Zone 1 has been secured.
If
Starbase 8 Zone 1 has fallen to the enemy.
I didn't do that RTS
Starbase 5 Zone 1 has been secured.
Maybe this wouldn't
Starbase 7 Zone 3 has been secured. Starbase 8 Zone 2 has fallen to the enemy. Starbase 1 Zone 2 has been secured. Starbase 4 Zone 1 has been secured. Starbase 8 Zone 3 has fallen to the enemy. Setting course for. We have captured Starbase 7. Starbase 0 Zone 2 has been secured. Starbase 0 Zone 3 has been secured. Real-time strategy mode has been disabled.
I will see you guys next time. This is Space Nerds in Space, if you're wondering. I don't think I ever mentioned the name of the game. It is on GitHub. It is open source. You can go find it. Just Google for Space Nerds in Space and you will find it. And I hope you enjoyed it. But probably nobody's watching this at all. Talk to you later.